Quickly, everyone, please put your mics on silent. Phone, sorry. I'm more nervous than that. Quickly, please. All done? All done? So, these heroes. Silent, not vibrate. Silent. Okay? Okay, so before I begin, I would like to say two very special things. In all these years and over so many recitals, this is the first time I have received a text from my mom wishing me the very best. Before every recital, she would send me a text and she would correct her granddaughter Tasha's posture and hand movement over a text message. Recently I was interviewed and so I was asked, what's the nicest thing anybody has ever said to you in all these years of teaching? And without batting an eyelid, I said that after a recital I had once, many years ago, I think maybe 8-10 years ago, no, not that long, maybe 5-6 years ago, one of the grandfathers came up to me and said, Naomi, you have given the gift of music to these children over here, especially my grandchildren, Rehan and Natasha. And for that, I will always be grateful. So today's recital, I dedicate to my mother and Sameer's father. Equally important is to mention that I definitely miss seeing Swayam's granny and Maya's granny in the audience today, both of them traveling, especially Auntie Sheth, who has never ever missed a recital, even when her granddaughter Ara was playing. So I'm talking about like, Ara began in 2005, so I think it's the first time I'm missing Auntie Sheth. So please tell them they were missed today. There are a lot of new faces this evening, guests naturally, but even some fathers I'm seeing for the first time. So hello to all of you. This is our first recital since January 2019, and my first big one since 2003, before everyone performing here was even born. I think Janya was possibly a few months old. Yeah, okay. So the reason I wanted to have this big one is because a few of those performing today will be playing for the very last time. I will tell you about that part later. And all of them playing today are really very, very good. Playing the piano isn't just about hitting the right notes each time. It's about translating those notes into beautiful music. I keep telling all of them, don't just play the notes, understand the music, respect the composer, and bring out the melody as required. Sometimes you need to imagine fairies. Sometimes you need to imagine getting angry. Sometimes you need to imagine beating up your brother as well. It's not always soft and sweet, but when it is, imagine that it is, and when it isn't, imagine that as well. I hope they bring the best that they have today. Actually, I'm sure they will, and because I think they're all so good, which isn't important, by the way, they think they're all very good, we decided to move from the original plan of renting a digital to getting an acoustic. One evening, Tanaya at my place goes, my piece sounds so much better on your piano rather than my digital at home. And Swayam and Tasha and Janya said that talent is wasted on a digital. The beauty of their pieces is lost. And they pushed me and pushed me. This was one of the evenings Swayam missed tuition, by the way. And he pushed me and pushed me till I gave in and got them the acoustic. So here we are, ready to begin our recital, and not just on any acoustic, but a grand no less. So getting back on track, this recital is one of experiments. COVID threw our lives off track, and experiments were required all around. Things were new for everyone. Some of us adapted, some didn't. I began taking class online. It was new for everybody, but with the internet lag, unfortunately, being how it is in India, by the time I had finished saying, wrong, 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 stop, stop, the child had already gone way ahead. And by the time she or he had heard me saying wrong, wrong, they stopped and then they wondered what wrong they had done, because to them it was all correct. But couldn't be helped, and it sounded well enough to me, but we worked through our difficulties, and now we are here today. At the last recital in 2019, I narrated stories. Stories built on each child's character and personality. At the time, I'm not sure who it was, but I think it was Shell, who said, every time you talk about the kids, next time let's hear what they have to say about you. I think it was Shell. It was either Shell or Swapnil. I can't remember who it was. So we'll move to experiment number 1. I asked Swayam if he would want to give a welcoming speech this time instead of me. I don't know if you all know Swayam. Swayam, stand up. So he jumped at the opportunity, and a little too quickly for me, for my liking. Over the years, he has hassled me ad nauseum, but in his heart and soul, he firmly believes that the reverse is true, that I have been the hassler. Too late, I realized the folly I had made and immediately tried to diffuse the situation by bringing either Natasha or Maya in, the only two whose niceness I was sure could counter Swayam's wickedness. Thank God I never asked Kahira, because she and Swayam would have shredded me to bits. Kahira finds these really mean Insta posts on piano teachers, and then she starts sending them to me. And not just one, sometimes I'm bombarded by a whole lot of them. Anyway, to cut a long story short, that didn't work out too well, and so I am back to speaking. So we begin now with the babies. Come on. They may be tiny and young, but they are the most hardworking of my brood. I present Meher, Anvita, and Varija. Meher's father is a musician. When I was telling someone about Meher and the ease with which she plays, I was told, Naomi, her father is a musician, so naturally she'll also play well. So my next experiment was to see how genetics has played a role in Meher's life. While it is true she does have a wonderful sense of music and rhythm, that's not enough to learn the piano with me. I insist on reading music correctly, and for a while she was an expert at that too. Till one class, both her mother Dhara and I figured that Madam Meher was playing by ear and correcting her mistakes by figuring out sound. Dhara, remember? Yes. So instantly I muted the piano. She plays on a digital at home and at my place, and asked her to read the sheet of music in front of her. It took her a while, but she understood and reads very well today. Meher dislocated her fingers last week, and the bandage has only just come off yesterday. Yet, in true sportsman spirit, she's looking forward to performing before you today. Meher begins our performance.
Hi, I'm Meher. I'm 10 years old. I've been learning to play the piano since 2.5 years. The first piece is the title song of the movie Sound of Music. Since today is an evening-filled event with music, I think it is an appropriate song to start with. It was composed by Richard Rogers, with lyrics by Oscar Hammerstein II. They were a famous team who created a series of very influential music in the 40s and 50s. I would like to invite Anvita and Varija to sing along.
Watch me. I will be standing there. Okay, watch me. Don't go too close. Come close. Come close. This has to be sorted out with you. Comfortable? Yeah. You want this higher?
No.
Sure?
Yeah. Liebesdrum, which means dream of love. It was composed by Franz Liszt, who was a Hungarian composer known during the 19th century. He was a virtuoso pianist. The third piece I'm going to be playing is an adaptation of Minuet by Ignace Paderewski, who is a Polish composer. He is a prolific pianist and a singer and has released 31 albums since 1969. His music and showmanship have had a very large impact on popular music. This song is played in the movie Lion King when Simba and Nala fall in love after being separated. I would like to invite Anvita and Varija to sing along. There's a calm surrender to the rush of day when the heat of a rolling wind can be turned away. An enchanted moment last piece is Mexican hat dance. It is the national dance of Mexico, and it is played on different occasions and celebrations. It is originally called Jarabe Tapatio. Before I finish, I would like to say a few lines about Naomi Auntie. Thank you for making this happen and supporting me throughout, and also making me write to remember the time signature 100 times.
That's the punishment they get. When they don't check time signature or they don't check the key signature, they're made to write it 100 times and give it to me on paper. So I have like a collection of punishments. I don't think anybody over here has been spared. Everybody's been given that punishment. So next up is Anvita. Anvita is my experiment with praise and critique. In the year 2011, I had a small 9-year-old named Janya. Janya, stand. She was about 8 or 9 years old when she came to me, and she told me, please don't say well done when I play. Please don't say that. Because whenever you say super or nice, then I will always make a mistake. Cut to 10 years later, and there's Anvita telling me the exact same thing. So from both of them, I have learned that if you praise someone, they play badly. If you criticize them, then they play wonderfully well. So if Anvita finishes a piece and it's flawless and I go, wonderful, superb, she'll say, no, please don't say that, don't say that. And because the second time is going to be worse than disastrous and unbelievable, but unfortunately it's absolutely true in her case. I'm not sure if today we should clap for her or not. I think let her tell you whether you all should clap for her, maybe perhaps at the end of all 4 pieces or 5. But I must mention here that she's a wonderful, wonderful sight reader and can read any note in the stave. I would have liked her to be at a level slightly higher than where she is today, because I do believe that her capabilities are tremendous, but practice is unfortunately an issue for Anvita, which I hope Ritu's sorting out now.
Good evening. My name is Anvita and I have been learning piano from Naomi ma'am since 2 years now. The first piece that I will be playing is called What a Wonderful World, composed by Louis Armstrong. Although it was first released in 1967, it is popular even today and is one of my favorite songs. I would like to invite Meher and Barija to sing this with me. think to myself, what a wonderful
Before the next pieces, it's on you all. I told you all don't clap. Okay? Okay?
The next piece I will be playing is a minuet. The meaning of the word minuet means a slow ballroom dance for two in triple time, popular especially in the 18th century. This minuet is an adaptation of the very famous one composed by Jean-Philippe Brahms. Sonatina is the piece that I'll be playing after minuet. It is a shorter and often lighter form of sonata. This sonatina is by William Duncombe. He was an organist in Kensington. I would like to invite Meher and Varija to join me for the final few pieces. The piece I will be playing now is called Angel of Music. It is composed by Andrew Lloyd Webber and is from the very famous musical The Phantom of the Opera. It is sung as a duet between Christine and the Phantom. Where in the world have you been hiding? Really you were perfect. I only wish I knew your secret. Who is this new tutor? called All I Have to Do Is Dream. It is in the list of the 500 greatest songs of all time. The original singers of the song are the Everly. And I want you in my arms, and I need you, and all your charms. Whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream. Dream, dream, dream when I feel blue in the night, and I need you to hold me tight. Whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream. I can make you mine, taste your lips of wine, anytime, night or day. Only trouble is, gee whiz, I'm dreaming my life away. I need you so, I could die, I love you so, and that is why whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream. Lastly, Meher and I will play a duet called Entertainer by Scott Joplin. A duet is a musical composition for two performers in which both have equal importance in the piece. It requires each pianist to be fully secure in her part and to understand her partner's part as well. The primo provides a melody, and the secondo is a harmonious accompaniment. The earliest duets were performed by Mozart and his sister Marianne. Scott Joplin was an American composer and pianist. Joplin is also known as the king of ragtime because of the fame achieved for his ragtime compositions, music that was born out for the African American period.
Duets require a lot of practice. I think what they've done is fantastic because it's very, very important to understand what your partner is playing. It's really not easy. You can play your part, but your partner could be somewhere totally different. So duets are very important.
I would like to thank Naomi ma'am for teaching me for the past 2 years. I'm learning so many different things about myself, like how I'm a great note reader and also a pan wala while sitting.
This is a Sarabhai trait. All three, Maya, Kahira and Anvita, they just can't sit properly. Yeah, they always sit like this. One leg is like, one leg is like this. And nobody wants to wear shoes. Not one of them wants to wear shoes.
Only she can make me laugh even when I'm getting scolded. She is truly a fantastic teacher.
So the third of the babies is Varija. She is my experiment with indecisiveness. Varija plays a piece and I ask her, you want to play it again? And she says, no, it's okay. So I ask her, sure? And she says, one more time, okay? So I say, okay, sure. So she'll play it again. I say, okay, done? One more time, okay? I say, okay, fine. And she'll play it a third time. I say, okay, now you're done? Can I just play it one more time? One more? And this goes on, and it's really quite funny because Rachana and I, her mother, are looking at each other and wondering when will this one more time finish in the class. But I think it's because she's such a perfectionist. She needs her piece to be just right. So I know her indecisiveness is only to convince herself that she's understood everything there is to understand in that piece for that particular lesson. Varija, let me tell you, has not the very best sense of rhythm and beat. But of all those performing here before you today, she is my absolute hardest worker. She will work and work and work till she gets it right. She never gives up. And proof of that is she received a 96 in her grade 3 exam, which she submitted recently.
Hello everyone, my name is Varija Daga and I'm 12 years old. I've been learning piano for 3 years with Miss Naomi. Today I'll be, sorry. I shall be playing a few pieces for you all today. So the first piece I'm going to be playing is called Study in D minor. It was composed by the German composer Karl Albert Lochhorn in the 1800s. Lochhorn studied the composition at the Royal Music Institute of Berlin. Some of his piano studies are still popular today. A study is a musical composition written to help develop an area of playing technique. In this piece, there are semiquavers going around more or less all the time, passing between hands. This piece is in the speed of allegretto, meaning fast.
Important for me to mention here is Varija was traveling for the summer break, and she's only come back 10 days ago. But proof of diligence is where she was in Calcutta, she hired a keyboard. Did you hire it or did you just go? Yeah. So they did that. They were away for a month, but they made sure that because she was to play in the recital, the diligence level is what I wanted to point out. This diligence is very required. We can't just do things haphazardly when we play the piano. It's very, very important to have regular, continuous practice.
Next is Undercover Agent, composed by the American Sandra Lynch. Sandra Lynch was born on October 29, 1969. She had classical training from age 4 and she attained the ATCL Performance Diploma at age 16. Before further developing her repertoire through jazz lessons, the coded title of this piece and direction to play it is moderately sneaky, which intrigues and inspires the players. An air of mystery and suspense is created through the use of contrasting articulation, staccatos, legato, and accents. In short, Undercover Agent is a very dynamic piece. Next, we have Rainbow. Rainbow was composed by Ray Moore. Davy Ray Moore was born as David Raymond Moore in Beirut. His father was an accountant for the United Nations. As a teen, he had asthma attacks and was confined indoors, where he learned to play the piano by playing along to Elton John and David Bowie. He now lives in England. The speed of this piece is andante, meaning slow. Therefore, this piece is peaceful and calm. The next piece I'm playing is Minuetto. Minuetto is a slow and stately dance in triple meter. It was very popular in the 17th and 18th centuries. It's graceful in style and moderate in pace. This piece has the speed of grazioso, which means it has to be played gracefully. This minuetto was composed by the British James Hook in the 17th century. He was born in Norway. He displayed a remarkable musical talent at an early age, playing the harpsichord by the age of 4 and performing concerts in public at age of 6. The other piece I'm going to play, and the last piece I'm going to play, is Gavotte, composed by the English greatest Baroque composer, William Boyce, in the 1700s. Like Beethoven later on, he became deaf but continued to compose. Gavotte is a medium-paced French dance which was very popular in the 18th century. It means the dance of the mountain people. This piece has a speed of grazioso, which means it has to be played gracefully. This is Gavotte. want to say a few words about Naomi ma'am. First of all I wanted to do is thank her for teaching me such wonderful music. Whenever I come to her class, I feel both anxious and excited. If I haven't practiced enough, she will come to know, and she will say, "What rubbish are you playing, Varaja?" But when I practice well and come, and she is all praises. She is both fun and firm at the same time. Thank you for making me understand and learn the one thing I truly love. You're the best.
I want all of you to stand up. That auntie sitting there in the corner, in the sari. That auntie is Meher auntie. Meher auntie plays the piano still. Still. A round of applause, please, for Meher auntie. Sorry, I forgot at the beginning, ma'am. You can't see? Go see. Go see my auntie. Okay, Tasha changed the stool. Okay, you all can sit, bas pati gyo. Yeah, Swayam, can you give the red stool? The red stool. For the red stool here. Yeah. Is it red?
I don't know.
Color is difficult in it.
No, I don't know.
Red color, red. That's red. Red sweet? Stool. Acha, okay. Okay, so we move on to the next four. Let's have a round of applause for Mihika, Kanaya, Nirja, and Natasha. So all four of them are what I call GQs. They actually are. I could be talking to someone else while they are practicing, be it their mother, father, or even Tasha or Percy, or the next student who has come from class. But each of this has this fantastic ability to keep 1 ear on the piano and 1 ear on our conversation. And not just hear things, but even contribute to that conversation. So they're playing Mozart, for example, with their fingers, but they're discussing school grades, boyfriends, girlfriends, brownies, cakes, and practice hours with their mouths. It's amazing how they do it. And not one or two of them, all four of them have this unique ability. So beginning with Mihika, the rest of you all sit down? Yes. So Mihika is my experiment with proportion. She shares this art with Kahira. They both believe that if class is for an hour, then we must play for 30 minutes, and at the max 40 minutes. And the balance time must be spent telling Naomi the week's news. And they have deduced with this experiment that if we play for 10 or 20 minutes at a stretch and then begin talking, Naomi will figure out our trick. And we will then have to play for a longer while. So we must play for 2 minutes, talk for 3, play for 5, talk for 7, and so on, so that balance is maintained. So I have Mihika sitting at the piano, playing a line, and then turning around 180 degrees on the stool and going, "You know, I put false nails yesterday, and Mama shouted at me because I spent so much money on it when I knew I had piano class on Monday." Or she'll tell me, "You know, I got so-and-so marks in biology, and I did so well, etc., etc." And I received news item number 1. So when we were sorting out pictures for the slideshow that you saw in the beginning, the first thing that jumped out at us was how tiny she was when she first came to me. She's still tiny, but just in size. Else she is the only one who argues with me to the point of fighting, and the only one who rolls her eyes at me and gets away with it. In August, my Tasha will be going away to college, but Mihika is there waiting to take over. Exactly the same characteristics. A funny incident happened when she was learning her sonatina for today. It's a 7-page long piece with 3 movements. And when I explained to her how it was written in 3 parts, she goes, "These composers, I tell you, they have no work to do. They write such long pieces, and then we have to play it." So equally important to mention here is she's playing the longest piece of all. To play 7 minutes at a stretch and turn pages solo is a wonderful achievement. Her piece is in 3 movements, as she will explain now.
My name is Mihika. I am 13 years old and I've been learning to play the piano for the past 6 years. I'll be playing 3 pieces today. One of them is a sonatina. As a musical term, sonatina has no single strict definition. It is rather a title applied by the composer to a piece that is in basic sonata form. the composer for the sonatina that I'll be playing today is Muzio Clementi. He was an Italian composer and a virtuoso pianist. This sonatina is composed of mainly three parts: allegro con spirito, meaning fast with spirit; andante, meaning slow; and allegro vivace, meaning fast, soft, and sweet. I hope you are able to tell the difference when I play the three pieces.
So when she spoke about this composer, she's telling me, do I have to say the name? And I said, yeah. She's saying, how will I remember such a name? Then she says, okay, it's easy. I'll just remember music and Clementine. So I wanted to ask you all, these introductions that they're giving, are they interesting or are they boring? Please get up and say sorry. Get up right now and say sorry. She's telling me, why do I have to give these introductions? You think anybody is interested in listening to all this? Get up and, no, you get up and say sorry first. Thank you.
So the second piece I'll be playing is called 40 Wings. It is composed by Mark Tanner. He is from New York and is a remarkable composer. Mark Tanner is a concert pianist, composer, teacher, and writer. And then after that, the last piece I'll be playing is called Remembrance. This is composed by Maria Mifsud. She is an award-winning composer, pianist, and music educator from Gozo, Malta. Maria won an award from Trinity College London for this composition, which has then been published in the Grade 4 exam book. Now I would like to say a few words for Naomi ma'am. What I was going to say here, she already said in my introduction about the first movement thing. But no, I'm grateful for everything that you've taught me and for bearing with me for the past 6 years. And through everything from you losing your temper and screaming at me to making me cry, to texting my parents when I told you not to, and to making me write apologies 100 times. Thank you.
So next up is Tanaya. Before we begin with Tanaya, let's begin with Shraddhavi, her mother. So May or June of 2020, I received this call. Hello, my name is Shraddhavi, and my daughter's name is Tanaya. So, etc., carrying on. I was wondering when this conversation is ending. So, and spoken exactly like this in slow motion. In fact, I even remember commenting to my dad, I was in Calcutta at the time, saying this lady just called up. Either she thinks I'm an 80-year-old half-mad Bavi teaching the piano, or she thinks I have difficulty understanding English. Then I met her, and I realized that I wasn't the half-mad Bavi, she is. And like I keep telling her, I am the thoroughbred. So Tanaya is my experiment with the inflow of the Zoroastrian genes, 1/4 Parsi. Auntie, no offense. So I had a small recital in December when Percy's family was visiting, and till date what they remember the most is the girl who sang the theme from the movie Pocahontas. Tanaya, as you will see later, has an amazingly powerful voice. Shraddhavi too has told me that Tanaya could sing before she could even speak. This is evident when she plays. Tanaya makes a mistake and she goes, no, 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 like that. And then she hums, and then she picks up the melody again. Not to say that she can't read music, she can, but that's only for show, and of course, complete laziness. She's read it once, and that's enough. The tune is now in her head. So I'd like to think her sense of music is the Parsi gene. The fairies I spoke about earlier, when you have to imagine what you're playing. So, what a tough time I had with Tanaya. For her, everything was played as though that devil was on an express train rattling through every tunnel blindly in the dark. She was only playing like that. We worked so hard on expressions. I think she'll do a fantastic job today. Let's see.
Hi, my name is Tanaya Dalal, and I'm in the 9th grade. I've been playing piano for 6 years, but I started with Naomi ma'am only 2 years ago. I'll be playing 4 pieces for you today. The first is Sonatina No. 1 in G by Ludwig van Beethoven, published after his death in 1827. There is no proof that it was composed by him, but the style suggests that it was his composition. A sonatina is a smaller sonata and is usually in 3 independent and short movements. Beethoven was a German pianist and composer who is considered to be one of the greatest musical geniuses of all time. I will now play the piece.
When the recital is over, I'm starting a donation drive for sellotape. Please, everybody contribute. It seems nobody over here has sellotape in their house. Nobody. It doesn't. They use sellotape in my house. And of course, Swayam, the Lord and Master, gives me the piece like this and tells me sellotape it. So I'm sitting there sellotaping pieces for him. And not just him, Janya, sellotape it. So they're all cutting sellotape in my house and sticking. You ask Nirja, you have sellotape? Yeah, I know I have it somewhere. Next class, she'll come with the sellotape and say, I stuck my piece. You ask Kahira, is there sellotape? I know Kavan has a box full of duct tape, but he won't give it to me. You ask Natasha, is there sellotape in the house? I know we have it, but I'm not sure where it is. So it seems we are starting a donation drive. So please, everybody contribute 10 rupees and let the parents of all these children buy sellotape, please.
second is Andante from Sonatine in F by Jean Christel Van Hal. Andante means to be played slowly. Sonatine in F means this. Sorry? Andante means to be played slowly. Sonatine in F means the scale of the piece is in F major. Jean Christel Van Hal was a Czech composer, and he was one of the first composers to earn a living by teaching music and earning money from his works. The third is Sonatina in F major by Ludwig van Beethoven, composed in 1770. It is Opus 5, number 2. Composers wrote many sheets of music at a time. To segregate them year-wise, they put them under the title opus. An opus means a large body of work. Today's piece is from Beethoven's Sonatina in F major, Opus piece number 2. I will now play Andante first and then the Sonatina. The last is Conquest of Paradise by the Greek composer Vangelis, composed in 1992, also used as a soundtrack in the movie 1492. Vangelis also died very recently on my sister's birthday this year. As a musician who always composed and played primarily on keyboards, Vangelis relied on synthesizers and other electronic approaches to music. He also played and used many acoustic instruments. For this particular piece, I will be using the pedal, and the piece also has a strong dynamic. So even though I started with Naomi ma'am only a while back, I have made more progress than I ever did in those previous 4 years. The only person I can thank for that is ma'am for continuously hammering me to practice and actually helping me get better. So thank you.
So Nirja is next. Nirja I have known for just about a year. Nirja and Tanaya, and the last one on this group, Natasha, share another experiment. How much can my brain hold before it collapses? All three of them play a piece a few times and then they know it. All three bad sight readers. But all three can cram any amount of music into their brains. I have to keep telling them to read because one fine day their brains are going to protest. The amount of effort I put in with them where reading music is concerned, I don't even put in with the babies. The most amazing talent that Nirja has is that she can urao notes completely. With great confidence, she skips the notes and moves on as though those notes didn't exist to begin with. When I question her, she says, of course I know this note. And with major confidence and all, she will point to the note. The note is wrong, forget that. The clef is also wrong. So, but the confidence that she will point it out with is so tremendous, I am left puzzled. Was she right or was I right? So, but Nirja works very hard. Any work given to her is done. There are never any excuses. These are all excuse people. There is always an excuse. Somebody was not well, somebody had exams, somebody was sick, somebody something. There's always an excuse. Anyway, but Nirja never ever has given me an excuse till date, and her fingers fly effortlessly over the keys. She has a wonderful sense of rhythm, very, very nimble fingers. Reminds me of Rehan, how Rehan used to play. You'll notice when Tanaya played now, I said something nice, see? So when Tanaya played, and now Nirja and then Natasha, how all three of them will look down at the piano and play. Complex pieces, all three, but all memorized. That book is only there for show. They don't use it at all. I can pick up the sheet music and they wouldn't know. So contrasting is Mihika, completely focused on her reading. Levels more or less the same, but all four different styles. Another point in common that these four have is this. Before the class, they will tell me, I played this at home perfectly. Natasha's even told me, and this piece was amazing at home. It was just too good. And then I go, wonderful, let's hear it. And bakwas is not the word. And then if you please, I get blamed. I am sitting over there quietly, just listening to them, but I get blamed. And and Mihika will even tell me, ask mom, etc. It was perfect. Just ask her. You can text her now and ask her. It was perfect at home. And I'm just sitting over there thinking, yeah, right. So Nirja now.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nirja Bhatt, and I'm in my 10th grade. I started playing the keyboard when I was 5 and then gradually shifted to the piano as years passed. Today I'll be playing 4 pieces for you all. I'll begin with the Sonatina in A minor by George Benda. So a sonatina, as many people have described before, is basically a lighter, less serious form of a sonata. It is shorter as well, having fewer movements than a typical sonata. So Benda wrote a number of sonatinas, but this one in A minor is the most popular. And the speed marked for it is allegro, so it will be at a brisk and lively pace. For my next piece, I will play a waltz number 2 by Dmitry Shostakovich, who was a Soviet-era Russian composer and pianist. Throughout his life, Shostakovich was regarded as one of the major composers of the 20th century. So talking about waltzes, they are basically pieces in 3/4 time signatures and have been popular since the 18th century when people started dancing to them. However, then some composers began composing waltzes that were strictly instrumental, and this is one such waltz. Um, Now I'll play a song from A Secret Garden by the Norwegian composer Rolf Loveland. This soothing new age contemporary song released in 1996 and is a part of the Celtic Nordic band called Secret Garden. This song is a soulful piece with a sorrowful and touching melody line. And now for my last piece, I'll play another sonatina. This one is in C major by the Danish composer Friedrich Kuhlau. Kuhlau was born in Germany in 1786 and was a central figure of the Golden Age. This sonatina is in two movements. It begins allegro, which means at a brisk speed, and the second movement goes on to be vivace, which is a slightly faster speed than allegro. Before I finish, I would like to say a few words about Naomi ma'am. So I started learning from her only last year. I used to learn from someone else before. And when I came to her, I was under the impression that she is a no-nonsense, very strict teacher, and so I was very scared for the first few days. But then I realized that she can be the most fun person ever, but not on days you mess up absolutely basic things like middle C. Last year, when I wished her on Guru Purnima,
I mean, just one second. What does the term middle? Middle means middle, right? You can't go wrong with middle. You ask Nirja, where is middle? She's pointing to the extreme right or the extreme left. I mean, where is middle? I mean, how difficult is middle?
last year, when I wished her on Guru Purnima, she said very modestly that she was hardly a guru. And at that time, I agree because we hardly knew each other, but today I don't. Because, ma'am, you are more than just a fun yet fierce piano teacher to me. You truly are a guru, someone who has removed my ignorance on many things. For starters, before I met you, I was completely ignorant of how terrible my sight reading was. So I just want to thank you for staying patient with me at all times and giving advice on things outside the piano as well. Thank you.
So last up for this evening, before the descent of the devils, like I like to call them, is Natasha. Shell's laughing the loudest. So Natasha recently told me, Naomi ma'am, I've been with you for 7 years. And even before that, I used to come and sit when Rehan was learning. So Natasha, I have known since she was 4 years old. While Rehan was playing, I supplied her with crayons and a coloring book, and she would spend the hour content. Then she began learning, and is today an experiment in contrasts. Same parents, but how did this happen? Rehan, focused reading. Natasha, reading not quite as good, though as she loves reminding me, it's getting better. I was thinking about this, and I have a theory. Perhaps while she was sitting around with her colors, her mind, like I mentioned earlier, could concentrate on two things, right? So her fingers are holding the crayons, and her mind is hearing only middle C, G, F sharp, B flat, etc., which I was teaching Rehan. So somewhere these have gotten embedded in her subconscious brain, and she has figured out, let me just throw all the alphabets at Naomi one by one. When she asks me to read music, one will at least hit the mark. And that's exactly what she does. I point to a note, she goes C. No, wait, G. No, wait, F. All three are wrong. That is another story completely. But thank God there are only 7 alphabets in the music, otherwise we would have had a really rough time. Natasha is all set to take her grade 6 exam later this year. She was most happy she got a distinction in grade 5 when Rehan never got it. You didn't get it. Oh, you gave grade 5. Handel, who played? Did you play Handel? Did you play Handel? Oh. You don't remember Jack. Anyway, Natasha is also a gifted Kathak teacher, Kathak dancer. Sorry. So I'm completely dance challenged. I have 2 left feet. But when I saw a video of Natasha dancing, I told her give up everything. Piano, academics, everything, and just dance. Her grace is evidenced in her style of playing the piano as well.
Hello, my name is Natasha Parekh, and I've been playing the piano for 7 years with Naomi ma'am. The first piece I'm going to play is called Finale. Finale is composed by Franz Joseph Haydn, who was an Austrian composer of the classical period. He was a friend and mentor of Mozart and a tutor of Beethoven. The classical period was from the 1700s to the early 1800s. It was during this era that the piano began to establish its place in the hearts and homes of everyday people. Joseph's contributions to musical form have earned him the epithets Father of Symphony and Father of the String Quartet. Joseph Haydn's Finale, which is a sonata in C major, was composed in 1771 and is a work in 3 movements and 6 sonatas. It was published by Art Arya, which is one of the most important music publishing firms in 1780. Haydn dedicated this piece to the sisters Katharina and Mariana, who were Austrian pianists and also his students. After researching this information, I am now awaiting Naomi ma'am's composition dedicated to me and my brother Rehan, who are also her students. The next piece I'm going to play was composed by a Hungarian pianist named Bela Bartok between 1910 and 1912. Bartok's compositions are a synthesis of folk music, classicism, and modern art. He was especially fond of asymmetrical dance rhythms found in Bulgarian music. He once heard a woman singing indigenous folk songs, and this experience triggered an aha moment for Bartok. He became obsessed with tracking down original folk tunes from Hungarian and Romanian villages. The stamping dance, also known as a peasant's dance, is a rustic piece that explores changes in tempo and mood. It manages to capture the rich original harmony and exciting rhythmic foundation found in folk music. The next piece I'm going to play is called Allegretto. This was composed by Frederick Daniel Rudolph Kuhlau. He was a Danish pianist and composer during the late classical and early romantic periods. The term allegretto refers to a direction in musical notation indicating that the musical piece should be played rather fast and lively. During Kuhlau's lifetime, he was known primarily as a concert pianist and composer of Danish opera, but was responsible for introducing many of Beethoven's works which he greatly admires. first piece, I'd like to welcome Neja. We are going to play Bella Ciao. Bella Ciao, which means goodbye beautiful, is an Italian protest folk song from the late 19th century, originally sung by the Italian Mondina workers in protest against the harsh working conditions in the paddy fields of northern Italy. It is generally accepted that this song was modified and adopted as an anthem of Italian resistance movement by the partisans who opposed Nazi fascism during their fight against occupying forces of Nazi Germany. This song received renewed popularity due to the singing of Bella Ciao multiple times in the Spanish television series La Casa del Papel, also known as The Money Heist.
I must tell you, we tried 4 duets. Meher and Anvita played one. One second. Natasha and Nirja played one, and Kahira and Tanaya played one. So I asked them, would you like to play it today for the recital? No, we are done. We can't play more. So when they were doing their duets, they were each practicing their own sections at home, and they only came to my place for recording. And Kahira and Tanaya were playing their duet. I had to send them home. They sat with me for an hour. Do you remember? I said, send them home. All they did was giggle. So my name is Tanaya. Then if it progressed to my name is Tanaya and my name is Kahira. All they did was giggle. I just shut the piano and told them, go home, come back tomorrow. They just didn't do it. And so today when I asked them, they said, no, we are done. We are not doing it. So that was it.
I would like
and a duet is really, really difficult. And it's especially difficult because they are practicing in their own homes their part. They are not practicing together. It's extremely difficult, and I think hats off to these people. I think they've done a wonderful, wonderful job with the duets.
I would like to reiterate what my grandpa said all those years ago. Though it's cliche, thank you for bringing music into my life, and also thanks for feeding me all of that food when I came home hungry straight from school. I suppose I should also thank my brother because most of my class went in scolding him. I am really, even though I've given you much grief, I'm really grateful for everything you've done to me. Thank you so much.
Don't have food in your house. He walks in and says, I ignored him. I thought again he's playing the fool. And I carried on. Again he comes, So, we'll take a 5-minute break. I can hear a lot of chatter butter going on. We'll just bring you all some water and the garbage bag. Please drink water. Throw your bottles into the garbage bag and then we'll start because water isn't allowed inside. Okay, so the last lot for this evening are who I would like to call the devils. All of them in some form give me grief. Kahira, Maya, Janya, Swayam, Rehan, and Tasha. They haven't been coming for class for the last 2.5 to 3 years. This is possibly the last time they will be playing. Janya is busy studying law. Rehan and Tasha, of course, direct descendants of Beethoven, as some of you might remember from 2019, are off to college away from Ahmedabad. Swayam is big time into bodybuilding. I think he's now going to block me on his Insta page. Kahira has blacklisted every composer ever to have lived, saying they don't know what music is all about. And Maya, I don't see as often as I would have liked to. The same interviewer I spoke about earlier asked me, when do you feel proud of your students? I said, exams are all okay. It's important to do well because it's an exam. You have chosen to take it. No one has forced you. No one put a gun to your head and made you take the exam. The dedication and hard work that happened with the exam definitely makes me proud. But truly, it is this lot that has made me the proudest today. Each of them has learnt their pieces being performed today by themselves. All different levels, but that's immaterial. They chose their pieces themselves, worked themselves on it, and did whatever they had to do. I think that's a super moment for me, because I did something right with them, for them to do this before you all this evening. I was asked, are you a good teacher? Thank you. So I was asked, are you a good teacher? And I was like, absolutely yes. Over the years, I may have struggled with some kids, but at the end of the day, when I see performances like you have witnessed till now, and performances that will now happen, I know I have made my mark. So let's begin with Kahira. Kahira, as I mentioned earlier, shares the news broadcast talent with Mihika. So once Kahira is done with class, which also, like I mentioned earlier, is 40 minutes of playing, 20 minutes of chit-chat, I have heard about how pretty her nails are, how her hair has been styled correctly. Why does she have to learn area and perimeter? It's not as though she's going out to measure anything. Her friend's green-colored hair, Billie Eilish, the cousin who eats only ramen, and most importantly, how bad the master composers were and how well she could have written music had they just asked her. That they lived in earlier centuries doesn't matter. They should have just waited till she was born. So I enjoy my class with Kahira because she's great fun. Recently, when she was learning Windmills of Your Mind, I told her, see, for the bass clef, you can either play a full chord like so, or you can break it up and play 4 notes like this. So without batting an eyelid, she goes, I will just play the full chord. So I asked her, why? At least try the 4 broken notes. So she says, khottu atlo mehnat kon karse. So Kahira has had no access to a piano for the last few months. So it's important to tell you that she learned Windmills of Your Mind with me in 1 afternoon, with the 4 broken notes, if you please. And her second piece by herself completely, I haven't even heard it. And both in the last 1 week.
The piece I'm playing now is called Windmills of Your Mind. The original singer of this song was Noel Harrison, who released it in 1960s. It was later heard on the soundtrack for the film The Thomas Crown Affair, released in 1968. It won an Oscar for the Best Original Song. And although Noel Harrison isn't here to sing this song today, Mihika, Natasha, Anvita, Nirja, Meher, Varijan, Tanaya, and Rajvi are. So please give a warm welcome for them.
I
now is called The Sleeping Lotus. It's composed by Joop Beving, a Dutch composer who mostly composes classical pieces with the occasional pop. Naomi ma'am makes fun of me for saying lotus in an American accent, but I'm half American. He is known for composing the soundtrack for the short films Horam and Het Kadu. This piece is more difficult than The Windmills of Your Mind, and it took me a lot of hard work and dedication to learn this in such little time, and on my own, so I hope it played okay. When I first came to her, I knew hardly anything about the piano because the teacher before didn't teach me properly. And the first class, she got so mad at me because I couldn't read properly, and I was almost gonna quit. But once I got lost trying to get there, and I arrived almost an hour late, and I was crying, and she was so sweet, and she comforted me, and because of that, I stayed. And now I'm so good, and I can play the piano, so thank you so much.
So this piece she's done in 3 days. 2 nights ago, she sent me a text saying, I can't do this. So at about 10 o'clock at night, Tasha's holding the camera and I'm videographing my fingers, showing her what to do. I think she's still done quite a good job of this. So Janya's next. Janya and I play Now You See Me, Now You Don't. She is my off and on student. She comes for a few months, learns a couple of pieces, and then goes into hibernation for a couple of years. Back again to repeat the cycle. So like the caterpillar, she has evolved as well. I first met Janya when she was 8 or 9. Today she's almost 20. So we go back a long, long time. Janya can't play without counting. She needs to count loudly, so much so that I have to tell her to tone it down. Sometimes I'll hear 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2, and I don't even hear the piano. I'm only hearing Janya going 1 and 2 and 3. So, but Janya reads beautifully, every note on point. Like I mentioned with Anvita, till date, Janya tells me off for praising her. Just as recently as 3 days ago, she says, I told you, don't say nicely done. Every time you will say nicely done, I will make a mistake. Janya has also been chief organizer for this evening's program. She's taken a great load off me and did most of the coordinating for today. So a big thank you to Janya.
Good evening. So my introduction speech is going to be a little long, so bear with me. I have, after a few decades, I think a decade sorry, that's nervousness talking. After a decade of playing the piano, finally maybe managed to impress a little you by finally getting my beat correctly. So I must say that after all the years of her scaring me, her terrorizing me, I'm coming to the good part. Her telling me bakwas, horrible, rubbish, terrible. She has imbibed and gifted me something that is going to last for my entire life. So thank you so much for that, for giving me the gift of music and piano. I read somewhere that after all life goes on, that struck a deep chord. It's been years since I first began playing, and life has indeed moved on, but piano has remained with me forever. Today, I'm going to be playing two compositions. The first composition that I shall be playing is composed by the Italian composer Nino Rota. It is the love theme from the famous book-turned film The Godfather. It's played in the E-flat major scale and consists of a number of trills. Trills are basically musical patterns that involve rapid alteration between a note and an auxiliary note directly above it. It's often added to add rhythmic and melodic interest. The second piece that I'll be playing is called L'Amour est Bleu, which translates to Love is Blue. It has been composed by André Pop and made famous by the French pianist Richard Clayderman. It's a love song that imbibes the pleasures and pains of love. It's played in the G major scale and is built on chords that fall within the scale. Thank you.
Next up is Maya. Maya is the angel who keeps these devils in check. I'd like to think that. But if you look at your invite, there is a picture of Maya where she has this most wicked grin. I can't remember what I said, even though I was standing near her for that picture. But sometimes that's Maya. She has these witty one-liners. I remember at Maya's first recital, she was possibly 10 years old. And she was very, very nervous because she hadn't practiced as well as she and I had both wanted. And she messed up her first piece. She played, stopped, and just couldn't continue. I went up to her, calmed her down, and she played the entire piece again flawlessly. Maya has come a long way since then. If I need to give someone an example of focused work, it would be Maya. If I have to give an example of someone with great sight reading, it would be Maya. Practice hard, Maya. All the others here have done their pieces by themselves, yes, but just a little bit of an input from me. How do I count this bar? Is this note F? Is it G? Will this fermata be followed, etc., etc.? But Maya is the only one who has done things completely solo. I don't even know her pieces. She's playing them for me for the first time as well. Maya is all set to take theory exams now. She did practical exams all the way from initial to grade 5, and at each one was awarded a distinction. Maya too has had, please, yes. Maya too has had no access to a piano for the last a month and a half, I think. She's returned to Ahmedabad 3 days ago and is here wanting to play.
My name is Maya, and I've been learning from Naomi for the past 6 years. And I'd just like to thank her for guiding and teaching me over all this time. Although she can be quite frightening at times, I know I wouldn't be here if it weren't for her. So today I'm going to be playing 2 pieces for all of you, the first of which is Interstellar, main theme. It was composed by Hans Zimmer for the movie Interstellar and is a very well-known piece of theme music. next piece I'll be playing is called, I don't know how to pronounce it, but Comptin du Autriette, which loosely translates to Nursery Rhyme from Another Summer, and is composed by Jan Tiersen, a Breton musician and composer. This piece was created as part of the soundtrack for the movie Amélie and is also incredibly iconic.
So Rehan is next. Last year, Rehan gave me a moment I'll always remember. He had an online charity piano recital, raising money for the underprivileged. Before he began, he thanked me for teaching him what he knew. I thanked him for this public acknowledgement, and he replied, "Of course I would acknowledge you. I play as well as I do only because of you." This was the first time in so many, many years that anyone has publicly acknowledged me as their teacher, and I was touched beyond words. So, while that is true, it comes with its own set of yellings and threats with full support from Shanil. I'm happy to have done what I did for Rehan. I hope he believes in his grandfather's words and keeps the music with him always. Many years ago, when Rehan was about 8 years old, another student of mine, Atman, who is now studying music at Chicago, wanted to have a recital at his home. He had invited a much older boy, his friend, to play as well, someone learning from some other teacher. That boy played a piece at the end of which Samir gave him a standing ovation. That day, I vowed to myself that if Rehan, who was only 8 at that time, continues learning with me and shows the same promise he did as an 8-year-old, I would teach him that piece. I don't know if you remember this, Samir, but that piece was the Turkish rondo. And if I may say so, Rehan, at least when I heard it last, played it much better than that boy. Rehan and Swayam and Maya, the 3 best sight readers here. They can read notes in the stave, ledger lines above and below effortlessly.
Thank you. Thank you. I was going to give you a jarring after all the earlier comments, but they'll come afterwards. But what you said was true. I would not be here if it was not for you. I would have definitely stopped playing the piano if it wasn't for you, and because you've taught me so well over all these years. So the first piece I'll be playing is the Turkish Rondo. It is one of the best known piano pieces by Mozart called the Turkish Rondo, which when I heard it for the first time was instantly captivating. It is the 3rd movement of Sonata number 11, but it is so popular that it is often played on its own. At the time Mozart wrote this piece in the late 1770s, there was a huge influence of the Ottoman Empire in Vienna. The music of Turkish Janissary bands was very much in fashion, and these groups are thought to be the oldest form of military marching bands in the world, and you can see its influence in this piece. It is characterized by robust notes, nimble fingering technique, and the brisk movement. The second piece I'll be playing is The Phantom of the Opera. This is the second piece from the play Phantom of the Opera tonight. It was The Phantom of the Opera was the longest running musical on Broadway, and it was composed by Andrew Lloyd Webber, who is an English composer and an impresario of musical theater. The song was where it was sung by Sarah Brightman and Michael Crawford in its theatrical debut. The song features the enigmatic phantom whisking his love interest and protagonist Christine Day to his underground lair to seduce and sing with her. This song is not without controversy, however, and it is thought to have copied a major portion from the song Echoes by Pink Floyd.
Tasha. Tasha, like Kahira, cannot understand classical music and the composers. She told my teacher in Delhi, I don't want to give any more exams. And this is after giving grade 6. My teacher asked her, why, Tasha, you play so well? And she says, Kerman auntie, that's my teacher, I don't like these composers and I don't like their classical music. My poor teacher nearly did a double flip backwards. So Tasha, unfortunately, completely gave up playing the piano till she discovered Einaudi and I introduced her to Klederman. Like Swayam, Tasha too has been introduced to music even before she was born. And like Rehan, she does have a very beautiful light touch. So it saddened both Percy and me when she stopped. But once she found what made her happy, she began playing again. This is important. Play because you want to play. Not because your parents want you to, and not because your friend is playing, but because it makes you happy. Find something you want to learn and do that. I'm happy that Tasha on her own chose to play not two contemporary pianists, but one of the world's greatest composers ever, George Friedrich Handel's very, very famous Passacaglia as well. Swayam, Rehan, and Tasha, all three grief givers, the biggest ones, but all three with the best touch on the piano.
Hi, I'm Tasha. I've been playing the piano for about 10 years now. To introduce me to the piano, like Mom said, I have her to thank, so thank you. And I'm the teacher's daughter, but not exactly her best student. In fact, she calls us, a few of us, her exes. After I started giving her grief in her words, not mine, I learned with Ara, who is here today. Thank you, Ara. And today, like Mom said, I don't learn with anyone. I simply pick out pieces that I've heard and I like, and I try to put them together. So now I play because I enjoy playing. Today I'll be playing 3 pieces, the first one being the famous song Perfect. It is sung by Ed Sheeran. He composed this romantic ballad in the wee hours of the morning, and the lyrics are said to be inspired by the love he had for his wife-to-be, Cherry Seaborn.
You
The Pasacalia from the Spanish word pasacal means street song. It is a musical form that originated in early 17th century Spain. This particular piece was dually composed by Handel and Halvorsen, the latter who was a Norwegian composer. In fact, when Beethoven was asked to name the greatest composer, he is quoted as saying, "Handel, to him I bow the knee." The third piece I'm playing is Nuova di Osce, translating to White Clouds in Italian by Ludovico Einaudi, an Italian pianist and composer. He began his career in classical music, however later incorporated pop, rock, as well as contemporary genres in his compositions. His pieces have been nominated for multiple awards, including the British Independent Film Awards and the Golden Goblets. I chose to learn this piece because I prefer contemporary music to classical, and Nouvelle Bianche is regarded as one of his best compositions, praised immensely for its simplicity. However, its technical work is considered to be very difficult.
I cannot hear this piece again. I am done with this. 5 times a day. I cannot hear this. Never are you playing this now. Nobody is learning this piece. Nobody is learning this piece. It is banned in my house the way Furelise is banned in my house. Nobody will play it. Come, hero. Swayam is my oh man person. Well, he truly was that, but over the last few years, he's become my buddy. So we've moved from teacher and student to friends now. Honestly, you cannot imagine the grief I have endured with him. It helped me tremendously that Nishali, his mother, and I were on the same page. I had carte blanche orders from her to fire him any and every time it was required. In fact, at our last practice session, he got a major thwack from me for once again hassling me. Nothing happened to him because I forgot he only sits in the gym whole day, but my fingers were really throbbing and all these Charlies had a good laugh after that. So one of the most talented pianists you will hear today, Swayam I knew when he was a fetus in the womb. Perhaps with Aras playing at home, he developed a sense of music and rhythm par excellence, I might add. He came for all Aras recitals, was a little imp then. Today is this 16-year-old giant. Janya saw him a few days ago and said, oh my God, last time I saw Swayam, I was taller than him. Swayam loves music, period. He doesn't care whether he's playing Mozart or Beethoven or Einaudi or Klederman. For him, it's music. All genres work for him, which is a rare thing. He listens when he is taught and does bring his own sense of music to the table as well. Most of you will remember that in earlier recitals, Swayam played lower down the order. Today's recital, he is closing. It's an achievement for him, and I'm super proud of his progress, as I'm sure are his parents and sister. Swapnil once called me brutal. That brutality has really worked so well, especially for Swayam and Rehan, and all the others over here today. Most credit for this goes to you all. If I didn't have the support of each of you, these guys wouldn't be at the level they are today, especially Shanil, Nishali, and Swapnil. It didn't matter if I yelled at their kids, praised them, or threatened to stop teaching them. Over the years, you three always had my back. So thank you.
Evening everyone, my name is Swayam and I'll be performing 3 pieces for you today. I've been learning to play the piano with Naomi ma'am for about 8 years now, and I'm the only student of hers who can get away with anything, be it not practicing or passing the time in class when she's told me to learn the notes while she's upstairs. Be it anything, I would get away, and I'm probably the only student who is not afraid of her. So I'll begin with one very famous song sang by the Swedish band ABBA, I Have a Dream. This released in the year 1979 and was the #1 song in the UK pop charts for 6 months, peaking over the Christmas week.
A song
The next piece that I'll be playing today is Marriage d'amour, which means marriage of love. It's a French solo piano piece composed by Paul de Senneville, which was first performed by a famous French pianist, Richard Clayderman. It was written in the key of G minor with a tempo of around 72 beats per minute. I do not know what 72 beats per minute sounds like, so Naomi ma'am has told me to remember all my girlfriends while I'm playing.
And not to imagine he's in the gym. I wonder how many he has. All my girlfriends.
This last piece is called Bella Notte, which is composed by the Italian contemporary composer Ludovico Einaudi. It means a beautiful night. The first section of the piece is Allegro, which means fast. This depicts the evening and the setting sun. It transforms into the Andante section depicting the peaceful night.
4 pianists, 8 hands, 1 piano. Each of the 4, Tasha, Swayam, Janya and Natasha, practiced their individual parts in their homes and came to my home only to put it together. The first day I had the 3 girls. Chaos was an understatement because each one was playing her part at her own pace. And not one of them had bothered to keep track of the other pianists. I had to shut them down immediately, give them a super slow beat and then work upwards from there. Next, Swayam was absent that day. And of course, Swayam's middle name is confusion causer and mischief maker. So we decided that before Swayam comes next week, let's record this and send it to him so he has an idea of speed. We did that and then we thought, let's also show Swayam his position on the piano so we don't waste time figuring out which octave he's playing in. As it turned out, Swayam's giant fingers had to be squeezed in between Janya and Tasha. And it was hilarious because we realized the following class, when he is present, he'll have the least space to play in. Anyhow, the following week arrives and the 4 of them sit down to play. I'm counting for them and so is Janya because like I said, Janya can't play without counting. Suddenly I see Janya's nose going off. And because she's moved from one page and Tasha's still on the same page. Natasha is busy playing, but she has no clue which bar she is playing. And she says, but where are we? And Swayam has stopped playing completely and is holding his hands up like this in silent prayer. And I was sitting over there crying. So anyhow, this natak carried on for a bit and then they managed 50 bars. The target set was 80 since they still had 3 weeks till today. Their progress along the way, I sent you all a video of. I think they've done very well. They have put in tremendous effort here. It's been a Herculean task for them. And this, I think, is pure genius. The amount of coordination that has been required is crazy. And only truly gifted pianists can achieve this. Having said that, I don't know how many mistakes they're going to make before they get it right the first time. But before I forget, Tasha spoke about Ara, and I did not acknowledge Ara. Ara, please stand up. This is Ara. Ara was Tasha's first piano teacher. She has taught Tasha the basics of music.
This piece is called the Galop March. It was composed by Albert Lavignac, a 19th century French music scholar and teacher. This performance, like Mom said, it requires amazing amounts of coordination, patience, and humor, which I think all 4 of us have in abundance. We had a really great time putting this together, but I think if even one of us makes a mistake, we may have to start right from the beginning. So please bear with us. And I hope this evening isn't too long.
Charlies went and covered the wrong page. Or rather, they covered the right page. That's why they got lost. They didn't even put their papers correctly. So anyway, thank you for coming, you all. I hope you had a great, great evening. I'm sure you can see the effort each one of the kids has put in here. My job was only yelling at them, like they said. So playing the piano is a gift. Each of you should be thankful for it and respect the talent that you'll have. Upon Mihika's strict instructions, we have some food outside. She was most concerned that since the recital was not at my home like it usually is, what will happen to the food that's always served? Thank you to Shraddhavi and him for the lovely, lovely spread. Also a big thank you to Percy for making the PowerPoint presentation, and of course for putting up with my snappy moods after an exhausting day of practice. Thank you to my good friend Burzin, that's Burzin, and his team for the photography and videography for this evening. And of course to Mr. Thakur, that's Mr. Thakur there, for this beautiful instrument. To end today's recital, we have yet one more surprise. Bear with us, please. So exactly 3 evenings ago, Swayam and Janya were hanging around at my home just faffing. Incidentally, this was the day, Nishali, that Swayam missed his biology tuition. And you and I were both conned by him yet once again. Anyway, so Swayam goes, Sunday is Father's Day. Let's do something for the dads at the end of the recital. And so was born our finale for this evening. So I sent them a video of me dancing, which I never do, to show them what it looks like. And Rehan goes, wow, what a talented dancer you are. You should join India's Got Talent. And Swayam says, please let me put this on my YouTube channel. At least I'll earn some money. I tell you, zero respect for me. All respect out the window. So they came for practice, and we needed to move the dining table away. Kahira, Tash, Tasha, Janya, Natasha, and me lifting the dining table. And Mr. Rehan Parekh picks up Natasha's empty bag from the table and struts her up. That was his contribution to lifting the table. Anyway, so Swayam, the Lord and Master, finishes his piece and hands it over to me like a slave, you know. Now please fold this for me. So I have all this going on at home. So chivalry is totally non-existent anyway. So for all you great fathers out there, Swayam, Tasha, Kahira, Rehan, and Janya bring to you with exactly 2 days practice, but filled, 1 day, 2 days for them, 1 day for you, but filled with loads and loads of love, Zorba the Greek. Also, I must tell you, so they had to come for practice 1 day. And Swayam says, because finally Nishali and I figured out he was missing tuition without telling us. So we figured out that no, he has to go for tuition. So he said, I can't come. So Kahira said, I can't come at so-and-so time. So Rehan said, but I can't come at so-and-so time. Next thing, I'm following the chat on WhatsApp. Rehan has told Kahira, you cancel your plans and you go for your plans later, but we will meet at this time. So he saw that his plans were all in order. Everyone else had to adjust to it. I told you. Chalo. 4 times.
Hello. Because it's Father's Day now, all the fathers have to come up and dance.